to Manu, and it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go.
Air Downcast. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. 1290.
Moore will take the snap straight back to throw. Has some time waiting, looking deep, throwing deep, looking for the end zone, and it's picked off by BYU. And Fafita pump pass, and his pass is batted up in the air and intercepted, and BYU is going to take over inside the Arizona 10. Fafita out of the shotgun. He'll take the snap with Olsen in motion, and here comes it's sack, fumbled, BYU ball. Back to throw, more time this time, now rolling to the left and throws it the other way, and it's picked off by BYU, and they're going to return it maybe for a touchdown, and they do. Well, that'll just add to the misery.
It is Football Saturday in Arizona, and hopefully there'll be no misery today as the Arizona Wildcats try to end their two-game losing streak. A date with Deion Sanders, Primetime and company. The Colorado Buffaloes are here in Tucson on this homecoming 2024. Welcome to our broadcast position from the U of A Mall. We are on the east side of the U of A Mall. Please stop by and see us today. We've got a festive atmosphere here on campus early. A lot of the campus organizations are out this morning. I've already run into one of my fraternity brothers. They've got their party happening not too far from us here over by the dance facility here, and it is going to be just one glorious and comfortable Saturday, although I didn't know I was going to have to pull out the winter clothes just for this early morning affair here. A little cooler. Temperatures right now in the 50s with kickoff time temperatures expected to be up into the low 70s today here. Definitely a fall afternoon in southern Arizona, much like we don't necessarily always get to see, but perfect for this 1 o'clock start here today on Homecoming 2024. Joined by my guys, Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985, Kelvin Ifan, the captain from 1998. Guys, over 250 football alums scheduled to be here today as a largest number ever of Ring of Honor recipients that will be here, and over 500 student athletes total alums back for this homecoming weekend. Always great to welcome back the people that propped up this athletic department over the years.
Yeah, it's a great thing to have all the homecoming and see all the peoples come back. You know, you're talking to seeing people that you're like, wow, damn, I didn't see you in a long time. You know, and then, you know, we got some people that are changing. There are people that are different. You know, it's great to come back and see all your former teammates. And Kelvin, you know how that is, man. Just getting you see your teammates, your former teammates you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, no, guys you haven't seen in a long time, and well, say since the last homecoming, because guys seem to be coming back a lot now. And one of the things that I can say is I remember being young and you don't understand how important homecomings are, but as you start to get older and you start to see guys and you know, you start to miss a few guys as well. Leo Mills, you know, rest in peace. Yusuf Scott, you know, and it's a few guys we can keep going, but you know, a lot of Wildcats are not going to be here, but at the same time we all trying to celebrate each other while we are.
Absolutely, and we've got a lot to get into this game with you today. Let's dive into Arizona versus Colorado.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Well, you heard there at the top the 4 turnovers that kind of led to the demise of the Wildcats last Saturday in Provo, Utah. It has been 7 turnovers in the last 2 games, which Texas Tech and BYU have turned into 42 points in beating the Wildcats, dropping them to 3-3 on the season. Matt Atkins asked this week, is Noah Fafita pressing?
We call a quick screen to the right.
And normally you think your efficiency rate on that should be pretty high, or if anything, you're in 2nd and 10, and the kid makes an incredible play and a pick. That's not pressing, right? You know what I mean? He's not pressing in that situation. The sack fumble, we have to be better in terms of getting him protected and getting the ball over our hands. That's not pressing. Now, and I think he's really buying into our vision of it, which is why, at least from my perspective, in spurts, we look like what we want to look like.
And the head coach on if he thinks maybe Noah at times is trying too hard.
That's a tough question because all he wants to do is play for the guys he's out there with. For us, we got to do a better job of putting him in the right spot all the time. I think we can help him with that. He cares so much. He works so hard. His preparation is more thorough than any player I've ever been around. We got to put him in the right spot and give him a chance to make the plays he's capable of making.
Guys, this is a game of football, and there's 22 guys on the field, 11 guys on offense. But when things are not going well on that offensive side of the ball, the blame usually is pointed at the play of the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he is oppressing a little bit. I think he just got to let his teammates help him. I think that's where he's got to let it, because he can't take the burden of him. It's always on. You hear him in the press conference. It's on me. It's on me. Well, it's not always on you, Noah, because sometimes those guys are not getting open, and you got to be able to get on. We got to get on them. We got to make sure that they're helping you. It's a team effort. Right. Kelvin, you know how it is. If your guy's not blocking up front, it ain't on you.
Right.
It ain't on you. If I ain't getting a reach block and you're doing a sweep, it ain't on you. Yeah. So it's got to be help. He's got to let those guys help him out.
And a part of having those guys help him out, he has to find the check downs. He has to find the guys when they're open. You have to read the progressions and go through your reads and find the open guy. And I think that's something sometimes when you're trying to make the big play and trying to satisfy everybody. I think sometimes you go for as they say, you try to eat the whole elephant at one time instead of eating it a bite at a time. So I just think that he just need to slow down a little bit, man, and just find the open guy, get the ball on those guys. And also I think the way the coaches can help him is by running the ball, finding different ways to run the ball and get the ball out of his hands quick with some screen game.
Well, that's one of the things they talked about, is that they've got to help him. They've got to do just that, find the way for him to get the ball out a little bit quicker. His hold time is longer than it's been. I think he's over 3 seconds in terms of holding on to the football in the passing game. Last year, he was under 3 seconds in that respect. So that's something that, again, the quicker you get it out, the more. And that to me, that goes back to a lot of what I've been talking about. And these route trees, shorten the route trees. There's so many instances where I'm watching the tape and I'm seeing, okay, we need 6 yards, but guys are running 11-yard routes. We need more intermediate routes for him, and I've been saying that for a number of weeks now.
Yeah, and we actually don't know exactly what they're running. Mm-hmm. We don't know what they're running. And I don't know.
We'll get into identity later.
Yeah,
because that came up again this week.
It's like we don't know exactly what they're running. But I agree with you on, when you need 6, you got to get 8. You go to 8 and come back to 6. You got to have those. There's got to be adjustments on the routes when you're running the routes, and maybe these guys are just not doing it.
And I'll say this: we have to remember this is his sophomore year, meaning his second year in college. So now they have tape on him, and they're taking away the things that he liked to do. And so now he has to come to, with the coaches, an understanding of, okay, this is what they're taking away, and this is what we're going to have to take right here. Last year, if you remember, when you come in as the backup backup quarterback, and I think people don't understand this, when you come in as the backup quarterback, you're doing everything right. Yeah. Whatever Fish asked him to do, he did it right, because Delora was kind of, getting a little wild. So this was going to be his opportunity. So when he came in, he did everything right. Now you lose that offensive coordinator, you lose that head coach. Now he's kind of doing his thing first. Everybody have to understand that. You get a new boss, but you already won before. Yeah. You think, I know how to win. Let me do my thing first. I think this failure that he's had is going to end up helping him if he's this smart of a kid that everybody's been saying he is. Mm-hmm. We get a chance to see now, because now he has a chance chance to come down and take some of this coaching, because I guarantee you the coaching didn't have him throw it into the double teams, right, okay, and it was some guys open. I don't know what tape everybody watching, but there's some guys open that he could have checked down on them sometimes where a couple of those interceptions happen at. But that's good criticism. You can take that and go take that film and find out and fix this thing and get back on the right track.
What a difference a year makes. Last year, and for really both of these teams, last year the Wildcats were 3-3 at the 6-game mark. Last year, Colorado was 4-2 at the 6-game mark. A lot of people were feeling good about Arizona being at 3-3, coming off what they were coming off of last year. This year, that feeling is a whole lot different, being 3-3. And Brett Brennan said this week that he understands the frustration coming from this fan base.
I hear you. Like, I'm frustrated too. You know, the reality is no one wants to win games more than I do. And so I understand. And that's the nature of college football. The truth is that we didn't play well enough to win the last 2 weeks, and we have to fix that, and it's my job to fix it.
And when you win 10 games and you go to a bowl game and you beat Oklahoma, a team that's considered to be a national program, that just increases. And then you bring back the quarterback that led you on that 7-game winning streak to end the season. And you bring back the wide receiver that everyone across the country is talking about. The expectations for this team going into this year, probably a little bit higher than what they should have been. But high nonetheless, and I've at times been a little bit surprised by the things that I've heard from this fan base, considering that, again, this is not a program that traditionally has won. I mean, there's not a whole lot of 10-plus win seasons in Arizona football history, but sometimes I think this is a program that's won 10 games 20 to 30 times from some of the things that I hear from people. But Matt Atkins, said this week, hey, we know what is expected from us.
I understand the expectations for this offense, and I get it. And we have a couple really good pieces, and I'm right there with the expectations. Like, we need to produce, and we are still in year one of this offense. And now it is our responsibility to accelerate that growth as rapidly as possible. And
I think that's the key there, guys, is, again, a lot of the same people are back, and they did keep a lot of the terminology, but this is still a different offense than what they were running last season.
It is, absolutely. I mean, it's totally different, and they got to understand, the fans got to understand, these guys got to make the adjustments, and sometimes the adjustments take a little longer. Mm-hmm. They take a little longer, and, and they have to be able to progressively get better, but we haven't done that. They have to fix that and find out what's going on with the offense and fix it quick. They got to fix it quick.
No question about that, and it starts today against the Colorado Buffaloes. All right, I mentioned the word identity. That came up again. It came up after the loss to Kansas State. It came up again today or this week. Brent Brennan asked what this team's identity is at 6 games, the midpoint of this calendar season.
I think in some ways we're still finding that. I think when you turn on the tape, we play hard, which I love. And I think that, if you don't have that, you're dead. So I like where we're at in terms of our effort. And I think, right now that's what we have to hang our hat on.
And here's where I think he's going wrong with what he said there. And people don't want to hear a head coach that says, I don't know, 6 games into the season. They don't want to hear that. So I think what he needed to do there, Brent Brennan, is he needed to own what he sees from this team. He had said it early in the press conference, and he said it again there. This team plays hard. They play hard whether they're down 15, like we saw late in the fourth quarter of the game last Saturday when Genesis Smith punches a ball out and gets you the ball back, with 3 minutes to go, and you're not going to win that game. They play hard when they're up 15 points. So own that. Own that as the identity for this team. But don't come out and say, I don't know, Because 6 games in a season with all this expectation, that's not what this fan base wants to hear.
Yeah, I agree with you somewhat there. I think that should have been a more emphatical answer of saying that, you know what, we play hard. This is our identity. We do play hard. Having that base of an identity of playing hard is pretty good. That's your base, okay? So what do you go from there? Do you say that we're a team that plays up and down, or are we a team that plays too loose, or what? But playing hard as your base is what you do. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think it's one thing too when I hear that, and the reason why as a coach you don't want to make that is because what if I don't really believe? I'm telling you guys that we're playing hard, but there's a lot of instances where I may feel like these guys ain't playing hard enough. So I just think I don't know. I think he's being real. I think he's saying I don't know yet. I haven't got the best of these guys. I haven't got the pulse quite yet, and getting the team so late like he did, having no recruits that he recruited here. I don't think that's the wrong thing to say. I think it's honest, and it may be too honest.
Yeah, and I think that we might be an identity of a team that plays hard but really doesn't play that smart. Mm-hmm. Okay, because we are constantly slow cutting. We have the knife that, the little blade that just cuts you a little bit, that turnover, that missed block. We got to get smarter on playing the game of football, being your head on the right side, getting in the right hole, being lined up in your position, assignment and alignment, all those kinds of things. Is that smarter, maybe, or is that just like lack of not understanding where you're supposed to be at? So those are important things that you have to you got to look at. You got to really look at those things. Are we a smarter team, or we got to get smarter and not make those mental mistakes? Those mental mistakes kill you.
All right, last year again, like we said, 3-3 at this point. This team went on a 7-game run to finish 10-3, but Montana Lamonius Craig says you cannot compare 3-3 this year to 3-3 last year.
Last year's last year. Yes, the record was the same, but we have to go out there and win those games. So I'm not really too fond on seeing all the way down the line. I'm more so in the sense of taking it game by game and knowing that we have to go out there and execute week in and week out to be able to have that same run.
Brent Brennan kind of reiterating that you cannot look at the dearth of what is to come. As most coaches might say, you have to have a 1-0 focus.
A year ago, this team was 3-3, right, which is where we sit today. And the only difference between those things is how we feel about it, because of the expectations going into the season, right, like all that stuff. And so now all of a sudden it feels worse. And the good news is we have 6 opportunities left to play. Like, we have so much football left to play. And if we'll just focus on right now and the work that's required to give yourselves a chance to get the outcome you want, that's where we need to be.
The reality, though, is that if the goal was to get to the Big 12 championship game, I don't know that 6-3 is going to get you there. Last year, you needed to be minimum 7-2. And if 7-2 is what it's going to take to get you to the Big 12 championship game, well, what has to happen starting today. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show. We're coming to you live from the U of A Mall. Much more in store for you. Let's let you know what we've got coming up for the rest of the show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, who we got coming up in the huddle today, Glenn Howe?
In the huddle, we got consensus All-American defensive back Tony Bowie. He is sitting right over here waiting to get. He's eager. He's back. He's chomping at the bit.
He's early.
He's
early.
I like that. That's why he was probably a consensus All-American, because he's on time. If you get here right at the time, you're late.
You're late.
You're late. So we got Tony Bowie coming in. We're going to talk to him, see how he's been doing, what he's been doing, and I want to hear his opinion on what he thinks about our DBs. That's what I want to know.
And how about the captain's corner today?
Hey, we got legendary Arizonian Tron Gameday, all everything, one of the best offensive players to play in U of A history, and my former backfield brother, Tron Gameday.
Outstanding. That is what is straight ahead. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day coming to you live from the U of A Mall on Homecoming Saturday in Arizona. Along with Kelvin Ifan, the captain, and Glenn Howe, the tight end, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985, and our guest today is consensus All-American, two-time first-team All-Pac-10, and NFL player Tony Bowie. Tony, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it was great. I really wanted to get you on because we really wanted to talk about some of the defensive backs. I know you've been watching the games and stuff, and those are the kind of things that, talking to someone that has played the position and has played and excelled in the position and has done very well at the next level, that those that input is real important for us to hear and for our fans to hear about that. Yeah. What have you been doing since you've been gone like 30? It's not 30 years now.
It's been a while.
You look good, brother. You look good.
I appreciate it.
It's like wine. You get better with time.
My knees would say otherwise.
What have you been doing since you left here at the University of Arizona?
So I went to play in the NFL. Played for 4 years in Tampa. And then retired in 99-ish, and then I went and kind of started my own business. I bought a gas station, ran that for a little while, and was really an entrepreneur. So I got out of that and went into run some locations for Circle K. So I was an area manager for Circle K, and through a whole bunch of other stuff. I've been
still
in
here in Arizona.
In Arizona,
okay.
In the Phoenix area.
Okay.
And been in politics, worked for the governor, was executive director of the Arizona Lottery, so it's kind of have that.
Did you win it?
I was that's a nominated position for governor.
Exactly.
No, but I didn't win the lottery.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Actually, you can't win it.
No,
right?
I can't. You see me behind bars right now. And then now I'm a president CEO of an aerospace company up in Phoenix. So,
okay.
A 70-year-old aerospace company. So that keeps me busy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your aerospace. What are they doing?
Yeah. So 70-plus-year-old company. We do plating. So chrome plating, CAD plating, copper, silver, nickel, all kinds of plating for the aerospace industry. So our customers are Boeing and Raytheon, SpaceX, and Northrop Grumman, and all those kinds of companies send us stuff to plate, and we plate it, and they put it back in their rockets and ships and tanks and guns and cannons, that kind of stuff. So it's a interesting business.
That's awesome. So how about your family? What about you? Got any family? What's your family look like?
Got a beautiful wife standing right over there, Allison. Been married 23 years.
You better get that right,
tomorrow,
brother.
23 years tomorrow.
Get that right,
and 4 kids. Got a kid. Oldest is Natalie. She goes to school here. She's Alpha Phi. And I got another girl, a senior in high school, and 2 young boys, one a freshman and one a 6th grader in elementary school.
Any of them played sports?
My 2 boys, my youngest plays a lot of baseball, so I coach Little League and club ball. And my oldest is
play baseball too.
Yeah, I play baseball here on Kendall. And then my oldest son is a freshman in high school. He plays football.
That's awesome. So everybody wants to know. Everybody has a story of how did you get recruited by U of A, and what was your story?
Yeah, you know what? When I came out of high school, I played both sports. I played 3, actually ran track too, but I wanted to play both in college, and there was only a couple.
Which a 3 sport is very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare, even in the 90s. I'm telling you, because I played 3 also in high school, and coaches were all right with that. But now
they won't. No, they won't.
They won't let you do it.
No.
Right.
So I was looking for places that would allow me to play both, and so I took trips to Florida State, Texas A&M, University of Washington, Tulane and here at the University of Arizona. So, but this was the only school that had somebody that was doing it at the time. It was Billy Owens.
Oh yeah.
Who was our quarterback and was
Yeah.
a first baseman for us. A tremendous athlete. And so I chose here. Wanted to get out of the humidity.
Who was the one that recruited you?
Rip Shear.
Rip Shear, really?
Recruited me out of New Orleans, and he got a few other kids after me out of New Orleans, but kind of dried up after that. But
Did you? What was your experience like coming to Arizona from New Orleans?
Oh man,
it's like you got humidity.
So I didn't know I didn't know I lived in the humidity. That was just the way life was.
Yeah, exactly.
So so I came out here the summer before and started working out with Maulu and all the other guys. Yeah. And man, the first day I was here, it was a record temperature. It was 114. I said, man, what the heck have I got myself into?
It's dry, though. They told you it was dry.
It was dry. It wasn't that bad. You got used to it quick. So I didn't have to get out of the I could lay my towel on the ground and be dry rather than turn into mold.
I know, because when I got here, I came from California. I came here in January. I think it was in January. And I got off the plane because back then the plane used to come walking off the plane. There wasn't an airport at the airport.
Right.
There wasn't like you go into the ramp. You go into the terminal. You had to come off the stairs. And I came off the stairs and I was like, wow, man, it's like 80 degrees. It's like January.
Right.
And it was beautiful. And so that helped me out a lot. Because I previously went to Washington State, and I was like, man, I ain't going there.
Yeah.
Because it's just too cold.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing when you come here, and it depends on what time you get here.
Yep.
That's
true.
So you played when you first got here, Tony. Tell us about what was your experience when you first got here, and you walk in the locker room. You played a bunch of sports. Mm-hmm. In your high school, you were the man in high school. You were the man in all your sports, and then you come here, and then you come in the locker room. What was that like?
Yeah, you walk in and everybody's huge.
Yeah,
right. And I was a smaller guy, but I had the mentality and the mindset of a bigger guy. So I just try to fit in, and I'm gregarious. I enjoy conversation with anybody, so I can talk to anybody and have fun with anybody. So I fit in really, really well. And so it was, I had two worlds to kind of deal with. You understand this.
Yeah.
Is, football and baseball are completely different types of people.
Yep.
So I was able to kind of swim in two different ponds and really enjoy my career.
And when did you know, do you remember the moment that you said, you know what, I can play at this level?
Yeah. There wasn't a seminal moment, but it was, it was during practice. Coach Keen's our coach, and Johnny Lynn is back there too. Two guys I highly respect as coaches and people. And just during practice, I really started to understand what it took. Jeff Hammersmith was a safety at the time when I first came in. Not same body size as me, his height, and so I thought to myself, he was successful.
Yeah.
I could be successful too. And then there was one particular play when I really knew that it was my time. Redshirt freshman year, 1991, we played Stanford at home, and touchdown Tommy Vardell.
Oh, yes.
Was their running back at the time. And
big old dude.
Man, he was huge.
Huge.
The previous year, he was running all over people. First game, he ran all over people, putting it on film. And I told Heath Bray this to my, God bless his soul before he passed away, and we laughed about it all the time. But he was a starting free safety before I was. So first game of the year, we played Ohio State. He was a starting safety. Second game of the year, we're playing at home Stanford. And Coach Keenan was saying all week, and they were saying, hey, you've got to hit this guy. You can't just tackle his ankles.
Yeah.
He's going to step right over you. And you've got to run through contact. And God bless Heath Bray. I'm standing next to Coach Keenan, like probably the second quarter. And Heath Bray had a tackle right up the middle, man. He dove with his toes.
Yeah.
No. And ran right by him.
Oh, man.
And somebody caught him, ran him down. He didn't score a touchdown, but I'm standing right next to Coach Akina, and he looked at me, and he said, Bowie, get in. Man, I ran out there. I said, hey, You got to get out. Keith, you got to go. And I never came out again.
Really?
That was,
wow.
And I started the rest of my career from the second game on.
Wow. See, people don't realize sometimes somebody else's mess up is your beginning of your career.
And that's what I was just saying about Noah Fafita.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Playing behind Delora last year.
Yes.
He wanted it so bad when he got that opportunity. He locked in. Yep. And you really lock in and doing what the coaches asked to do because you're the second screen guy and you know how easy it is for him to go back to the first screen guy. And
absolutely.
But this year he don't have that guy right now behind him.
Nobody
giving him that pressure. Right? And so, you play a little different, when you don't have another guy that can basically start in your spot.
Yeah. And when you got in, what was your feelings when you got in? When you got in, you're like saying,
I was confident, know, and I knew my mentality was I wasn't going to dive at the guy's feet. Tackled him a couple times, stopped him, and the proved to Coach Akina that I could play the position.
And tell us how Coach Akina influenced you as far as your playing and the way you play.
Yeah. Well, he's extremely detailed oriented, right? He's going to tell you how to place your feet, where to place your hands. And I remember that, how he would teach us in practice. I mean, we had a corner named Richard Holt at the time, and Richard was a taller
Rich,
corner, just like we have now.
Yep.
Could move his feet, was a strong tackler, and I just remember Coach always you being very detailed about how you place your feet and your hands, and then his intensity. Coach Akina is an intense dude in during the game and in practice.
Yeah.
So that was driven into me about how you've got to be from snap to whistle, and I took that in games to the NFL. And now I coach high school football now, so I take it there as well about some of the things that I saw Coach Akina do as a coach. I do those same things.
We're Tony Bowie is our guest in the huddle with Howell, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. Tony, so tell us about. Do you remember what do you recall as one of your best moments as a University of Arizona defensive back?
When I think the early days of us becoming the Desert Swarm, there are two plays that in my mind that I remember me making, right, that put us on the map. And people don't really realize we really weren't the Desert Swarm until after the Miami game in Miami in 1992. It was 92. Miami came to us the year before. They blew us out 36-0.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine and a teammate in Tampa, Lamar Thomas, was on that team. We went down to Miami the next year, and we lost 7-6 on a missed field goal. And there was a play in there. It was Lamar Thomas was running a dig. Gino Toretta threw the ball. I jumped in the middle of it. And there's a picture that Coach Tomey had up in the office for a long time. It was me and Lamar Thomas horizontal to the ground, and I'm picking the ball off on a dig.
Yeah.
I drove a dig. And after that game, we realized as a group that we literally could go anywhere and play with anyone because Miami had this long streak of like 30-some-odd games, or they hadn't lost at home in like 3 or 4 years or something. And then we almost beat it the next year. Washington goes down there and beats them at home, so they broke that streak. But it was that game that really, in my mind, in that play for me, that they made us realize that we could actually play with anybody.
Yeah, they gave you the confidence.
Yeah. And then the next time I think was when we played Washington at home. They were number one.
Yeah, you beat them.
I knew they had to end the game. They had to drive to win the game. Burnell, left-handed quarterback, was a gunslinger, and I knew he would throw a go route, sideline fade to a guy named Shepard. And that literally, I wanted to run through his chest.
Yeah.
And so I backed up about another 5 yards, knowing he was going to throw a go route because it was like, just less than a minute left, and they had to get down the field. And, man, it was the best miss that I ever had in my life. Because if you watch the film, I'm gunning for his chest. I'm trying to put my shoulder right through the middle of his chest, and I actually ducked my head. My head hits the ball, pops out of his hands, and then Keyshawn Johnson picks the ball off. Game over. And that's the iconic, kind of moment for that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Being number one at home.
We're talking to Tony Bowie, a consensus All-American here at University of Arizona, is our guest in the huddle with How, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. And you got to know that, the question I asked all the guys, Tony, I ask them, what is their best play? When you become a consensus All-American, you probably have like 20 of them, okay? Because there's like 20 of them that makes you become that level of a player. And you look at what are some of the best moments that you had as a team. Besides the Miami thing, was there any special moments that you had as a team that you knew, like, damn, I'm really close with this team. This is where we really gelled.
It was probably at the time we used to go down to Camp Cochise, and there was a time when I can't remember the exact day, but Coach Tommy was so pissed off. He had us just doing we'd be on one side of the field and we'd have to roll to the other side. Right? I think somebody was like late to curfew or something, and so he called us out. And we're all we're all rolling back and forth across the field. And Teddy Bruschi, God bless. Teddy Bruschi's a funny dude, man. I love Teddy. He's throwing up, and he's just screaming, God, keep doing it, let's go! And he's just throwing up all over the field, and we got to roll through his throw up. I mean, you're rolling across the ground, you just smelling alcohol and liquor all over the ground. Guys are drinking, some things that you just remember. And I just remember that we all go back to the dorm and we're just laughing and giggling. And Coach meant it to punish us, but we just kind of laughed it off, and it's like, it's one of those things.
That's when you. I think that's when you gel, is when you're working your hardest and everything, and you guys are, everybody's suffering.
Yeah,
we all suffer together.
Yeah,
and that's when the gel comes together. That's when you come together. How was it when you saw yourself on the Sports Illustrated cover? How was that? What was that like?
When we did it, we went out to some remote place with all the guys on the cover, and they got us in the van, and we were out in the middle. I don't know where we were. And we were taking all kinds of poses, and they said it was going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but, who knows? They always,
they always tell you that.
Changes at the last second. So when it came out, I remember they said, hey, the cover's out, so they were selling it in the bookstore right here at McHale. And I walked over and got one. It was surreal to see all of us on the cover.
Yeah. How did your boys in New Orleans feel when they saw that?
I got a call and a bunch of texts. I'm not texts, but emails at the time.
Yeah.
And about people saying, "Hey, congratulations."
I don't even know if it was
cool.
emails.
I don't know. That was 19. The email said 1990, 89.
Yeah.
So there was some emails around. It was the old.
Yeah, exactly. It was coming. Yeah, exactly. It was like the AOL.
No.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I was going to ask you, man, Brandon Sanders. When I got here in 1994, of course, I was watching you guys before that, and I was a three-sport too. I did track as well.
Yep.
But football and basketball, and watching you guys play football, I was like, man, I basketball for sure, but man, I like the way that teams played football, the aggression. I was all state linebacker and everything like that, so I'm like, I could play in that style. But tell me a little bit about Brandon Sanders, man, in your connection back there, because to me, watching you guys play, y'all was like guys that could cover, but y'all hit like y'all was like 6'6", 390. Yeah. I mean, you guys were so aggressive. Explain to the people how important that was to have, because we got two safeties out now.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And to me, they are so important of covering up the top and helping to get beat on the deep ball and coming down in those alleys and filling in the run to make sure there's no gaps in the run defense. Tell us how important it is having those two guys.
Yeah, the Desert Swarm isn't the Desert Swarm without Brandon. My first year, Brandon wasn't there. my redshirt freshman year. He comes in the next year and starts as a freshman. And, we just clicked. We both understood the game. We were both highly aggressive and could cover one-on-one. And there's a lot of communication that happens on the field in the secondary, particularly in the middle of a game that people in the stands don't really understand. Because you're giving yourself signals, you're talking to each other as you're backing out of the huddle. And when you are missing a good tandem at safety, it's like having a couple spokes missing in a wheel.
Yeah.
Right? It's just not as strong of a wheel. So that the U of A's defense having guys out right now is an issue.
Yeah.
And could be exposed if the other guys don't obviously step up and produce early, because if you don't, you're going to get picked on the rest of the game.
And as you said, the communication, you got two captains.
Yeah.
They're captains. I mean, so you're not just talking about regular guys that you could just fill in with a backup guy. And to me, that's one of the biggest issues right there. I mean, you lose two guys that are seniors, guys that have experience and leaders that other guys could turn and look to when things get tough. And those guys are not there, man. I mean, and you get an offense coming in with the type of receivers they got. That's a tough one for me to pick for us today. Yeah. I'm a Wildcat through and through.
Yeah.
But it's tough for me to pick for us today.
And you got the best quarterback in the conference going against Secure Sanders. What do you think about our team? How do you think we're playing as far as the defensive side of the ball?
I mean,
let's not talk about the offense.
The defensive side of the ball is playing well. They're playing it well enough to win games.
Yes.
But as you know, you've got to execute in all three phases of the game, and the defense is going to hold the offense to some degree, but you got to put enough points on the board these days that are going to win games. And right now, it doesn't look like our offense, just my personal opinion, is clicking on all cylinders to win high-scoring games.
Yeah, and I think that, we've been talking about this for the last 6 weeks, is that about how if they do click, we could score a lot of points. Yeah. Because we know we can, but we just are not hitting on all cylinders. But the defensive side of the ball, how do you think about the way they're playing as a unit, or are they playing separate, like the linebackers are playing better than sometimes some units are playing better than the other.
Yeah.
And then how do you think they're playing as a unit all together?
I mean, I highly trust Coach Keena's coaching ability in being able to maneuver people around and to fill kind of the voids that you have. When you're missing players, coaching is becomes even harder. So, to put it nicely, if you are missing the kinds of players that they're missing, especially leaders, it's going to be tough to be consistent throughout 4 quarters of a game to do the things that you want to do to win. So I find it difficult this week.
Yeah, it's going to be. They're going to have to bear down. Well, Tony, we really appreciate you coming into the huddle and talking with us, and we just want to thank you for coming by. And we're glad you're coming back and you're around. We like to see you more, coming around, and we'd love to have you on again. And thank you very much, and thank you for your wife bringing you down early and everything. And it's great to see you. And bear down, brother.
Bear down. Appreciate it.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
One more.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
My drains are clogged again. What should I do? Don't let those clogged drains scare you. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a $79 drain and faucet diagnostic service special. We'll get you back in the flow. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're looking for ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, Dave and Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Here is the Wildcats offensive scouting report for today's game.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Fafita will take the snap. Straight back to throw. Sets up in the pocket. Fires. Caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Just like that. Montana Lamonius Craig squirting through, finding a wide open Noah Fafita delivers.
Wow, this may have been the best-looking drive that Arizona's put together this season.
Yeah, well, we've seen a few of those nice-looking drives to start
at the beginning.
At the beginning, exactly. At the beginning, we want
them at the end.
Yeah, we need to see a few more of those.
It's the script. Come on, it's the script. And people got to understand what the script is 10 plays usually that they practice every day to make sure that this is exactly what we're going to do, and everybody knows it. But then once you're off script, now you go back to picking who you want to pass and who you want to go to and different things. So I just think that script is really helping scripting, and I think we need to do a little bit more scripting.
Yeah, let's script all day.
Do a little bit more scripting. Oh, the little Tucson soldiers right here.
Yeah.
I got Bun to run right
All right.
Tremaine,
Tremaine bringing
guy.
his
here. They're
group
trying to get
by.
the Nationals right here.
All right, what's up? What's up?
Baby, what's up with you, baby?
There we
All
go.
right, all
What's up, my brother?
Got the
What's
squad
up?
over here.
Tremaine, who was with us early in the season on the show, absolutely
Yeah,
got
got
his whole
9U.
team out here.
Yes.
Tucson
All right.
soldiers.
All right.
Nine
All right. Where we going? Where we trying to go to, guys?
Go to
Trying
Florida.
to go. And do we know where Nationals is? Orlando, Florida. All right. Well, let's see if we can help get y'all to Nationals. Who's the quarterback on the team?
Here you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many touchdown passes you thrown this year? Too many? There's never too many
That's
touchdown
crazy.
passes to throw.
9U. Throwing passes.
Outstanding. Well, good luck the rest of the season, guys. Y'all looking snazzy there.
All right, guys.
In your
Appreciate y'all.
jerseys. Got the first names on the back of their jerseys. I like that. Got the first names. Well, you heard that touchdown pass from Montana Lamonius Craig, and you'd love to see him become a second consistent weapon for Noah Fafita in this offense. And this no stranger is this game to Montana Lamonius Craig. He played this first part of his career at Colorado, so this will be the second time he's had a chance to play against his school.
I am an alumni from the University of Colorado, so I graduated there. It's always going to be a bit more personal, just knowing that's who gave me a shot coming out of high school. But I mean, it's still business at the end of the day. So my goal is to go out there and help my team accomplish the goal, and that's winning the football game. So whatever that means I have to do, and whatever my role is going to be in that game, I'm ready to take it head on.
And it's interesting. And this is something, guys, we talk about all the time, and I didn't get a chance to be at the press conference on Tuesday. But we're in an era. We're in an era where you're going to have guys like he said there. He graduated from Colorado. I believe he was there 3 seasons, of which he played all 3 of those seasons. He's going to play 2 seasons here. It's like, I wonder how those guys are going to handle that when they get to be when homecoming comes around in 20 years. Is Montana going to be going to Colorado's homecoming one week, and then he's going to turn around and come to Arizona's homecoming the next week?
Yep.
It depends how he plays today. Depends how he plays today. If he's killing it, I'd go back to Colorado and say, "Hey man, I'm sorry I had to kill you." You know, I would definitely do that.
But yeah, guys are gonna have to make that decision. I think in about 10 years or so, like where they feel like their home is.
Yeah. And some guys both, because some guys play well at both places. I think that has a lot to do with it. Like if you play well, then you want to go back and show your face. But if you didn't play well, or if you didn't get any playing time, maybe not so much. So I think it has a lot more to do with that. Is how well you play in those different places if you want to show up.
Well, and he's a guy. Obviously, I mean, he had success there. It wasn't like he didn't have success playing at the University of Colorado, and I don't know that maybe he's had the level of success that he thought he was going to have when he made the decision to come here, but like Brent said at the top, there's still 6 games left for Montana to make that statement and become a guy that we look back to in 5 years on homecoming day and say, man, remember Montana at the tail end of that 2024 season.
And I'll say this: is there any kind of way that he could, some kind of way, be a alum of Servite?
Yeah.
Maybe he can get into that. Right now, that's where the ball's going.
Yeah,
it's going
exactly.
to Burnett and T-Mac, right? So you got to go in there and see if you can come an honorary member or something, so you can get down with that now. But he just got to go and get with that quarterback, man, and make sure you understand that I'll catch that ball. And he came a long way when he caught that pass for the touchdown. And of course, they need a lot more from him because we need a second guy to stand up and to be that second guy.
Speaking of Servite, Matt Atkins this week said we got to protect the kid from Servite just a little bit better than we are.
He's taking too many hits, and we need to protect him better. And when I say protect him better, I'm not just talking about the offensive line. I'm saying from me to the receivers winning releases, to the backs being better IDs, to the extra. It is every single one of us need to work to make sure that he is not getting hit as much as he does.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like he said, it's at every level. They've got to work on that moving forward.
Yeah, if someone just took that sound bite and just said, we got to protect it, everybody's going to think, oh, it's just
the
offensive line.
Right.
But he is absolutely right. It's not just the offensive line. There's some times when the offensive line is doing a great job and he moves.
He dropped back too far.
You go back too far. And then he'll get into the rush. So there's a lot of things that it's got to be, toned down and dialed in and being able to protect him.
And he got to recognize the hot routes.
Absolutely.
They're
Get rid
blitzing.
of the ball.
We got 5 people. They're blitzing 7.
Yep.
You got to get off of it quick. You can't hold on to it and look for the big. So it's a
Absolutely.
little bit of blame to go all the way around. And I think everybody just needs to calm down and make sure they execute. The game plan. I think at the end of the day, that's what it is right there. I think you can't get into a situation where you're trying to do too much because I think with us getting behind, you start throwing the ball because automatically, hey, we got to come back all at one time. No, continue to run the ball, but because if you pass 52 times, you got to expect your quarterback to get hit 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Brennan this week addressed that Noah maybe taking a little bit too long in the pocket.
I think there's lots of parts to that. I think some of that can be the concepts that we're running, require a little bit more time to develop. But we're focused on trying to get the ball out of his hand because he has taken too many hits, and we need to protect him because he's a great player and he's the leader of our team, and we need to take better care of him.
And this was something that we talked about, and I mentioned after the show, after the loss at BYU on Saturday, and I think that there's times when Noah Fifita is not really reading things before the snap, and in particular the play where he got blitzed and the two guys on his right and left, and he didn't read that was going to happen, and he was looking left off of that. Matt Atkins talked about Noah Fifita and his pre-snap looks.
Those are complex issues. You can't narrow it down to one thing because it could be 3 different protections. On one of them, we might know that guy's coming free, and that's Noah's responsibility to get to a hot. On others of them, we have a critical error. It's not one thing. We need to make it simple enough to the point where we're executing those things at a high level, where Noah knows when he does have problems, where they're coming from. Because one of the things that's incredible about Noah, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, is when he's hot and he knows he's hot off someone, Noah wins that matchup a lot with his ability to escape the pocket.
So you got to hope that maybe Noah also is beginning to see it a little bit better. Like you guys said, they're defensing him better because they've got a year's worth of tape on him now. Now you've got to make the adjustment as a player to start to figure out how you can make plays with what they're doing to you defensively, for sure. All right, let's get another break in here. A lot still in store for you. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. That is our look at the Arizona Wildcats offense.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet, get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Was your AC struggling to keep up this summer? We all know what happens to a car if it doesn't get a regular oil change. Your air conditioner is no different. Regular maintenance increases efficiency and reduces the chance of catastrophic failure. Take advantage of Rightway's $65 AC tune-up special. Our experts will perform a 42-point inspection, ensuring your AC runs like new. We'll even check for refrigerant leaks at no charge. Call Rightway at 520-549-1914 for your $65 AC tune-up.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer could finally come to an end. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. If it's time for any other seasonal maintenance, we've got you covered with the most award-winning service around. You'll see why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Make Dave & Buster's a part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is Trivia Night with great prizes. Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on gameplay after 9 p.m. Stop in Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials. Want more? Rewards members will get an extra 100 chips with the purchase of 100 chips and Sunday sips for hospitality workers. Full and quick service restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks.
Well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Retzlaff will take the snap, and on the pitch, option pitch goes to the left, turning there, first down, over midfield, and out of bounds at the Arizona 48. So BYU runs the ball for the first time today, and it pays off for a first down.
Yeah, BYU ran a speed option to the left side. And Arizona, they got Arizona a little bit off balance right now. 3 passes in a row, then they finally got into a manageable run situation and ran a speed option to the outside. Got to the perimeter really quickly on Arizona.
Hinckley Ropati, the running back, and again, he's returned after sitting out 3 games with an injury. And now, what did we get here? So they're reviewing something.
After review, personal foul, targeting number 5 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 5 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Well, that is a major loss for the Wildcats, and I do mean a major loss. Jacob Manu, the junior out of Santa Ana, led the Pac-12 in tackles last year, 51 to lead Arizona this year. He's their defensive captain back there, the play caller on defense, and now he is done for the day.
Let's look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. The Cats with the ball. They pick it up. They'll take over at midfield.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, today's defensive scouting report is going to be the injury report. Who is available today for your Arizona Wildcats on defense? Tacario Davis left the game last week. He is questionable for today's game, although I was walking down the block to the press conference on Thursday, and he was working out on the on Bear Down Field with the training staff. But again, he would probably be on the positive questionable side, I would think, for today's game. Marquise Groves-Killebrew still dealing with a little bit of a thigh injury. He is, I would think, maybe on the negative side of questionable. Well, we could see the young man Demetrius Freeney getting his first start of his career for Arizona. You know you're going to be without Stukes. You know you're going to be without Gunner. So, again, that's 5 guys that started this season in that defensive backfield that Dwayne Aquina likely is not going to have this season. Let's hear from our guy, Genesis Smith, on how the injuries have affected this defense.
Yeah, it's definitely affected us on the field, the leadership, but like I said, next man up. A lot of people got to step up in the secondary. A lot of new faces. Dahl, me, OG, Owen, Jag, we all got to step up back there. Just keep talking, communicating. You can never over-communicate, so I feel like that's helped us develop faster as well.
The positive, guys, is that young man right there. We knew he was good enough to start. There just wasn't a space for him because of all the veteran players that were in front of him. But he has definitely stepped right in and been that next man up, keeping that position, whether he's been at the boundary safety or back at free, keeping either one of those positions at a high level.
Yeah, it's going to have to step it up today, man. It's going to be a big challenge because that ball is going to be flying around the ball field today. Okay, it's going to be flying around.
the stat that jumped out to me, they've got 50 more first downs passing than they do running the football.
Yeah.
And to me, we're talking about the DBs, and I think what's going to be even more important is the D-line pressure. Colorado is known to give up a gang of sacks, and you can rattle Shadur a little bit if you can get to him. So I think that D-line is going to be very important, and we're pretty healthy there on the D-line, and today they should be able to pin their ears back and really get after this quarterback.
All right, we are streaming today's show on a number of different platforms. Obviously, you can listen to the audio stream of this program at wildcatsradio1290.com. Download our app. You can listen to the show there. You can also watch it. We're streaming on YouTube, and right now the stream is holding up. Now, I will warn you, there's more people come out onto the mall. We usually lose our video capability, but right now things are looking good on both YouTube if you want to watch the show there. Facebook Live, also you can watch the show on Facebook Live. Twitch, we're also on Twitch. We've got a stream up to our broadcast on Twitter. So just head on over there, hit the stream button. That'll take you back to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to download our app. A full, complete preview of today's game, including Wildcat Breakdown with Glenn Howe is up there, as well as Kelvin Ifan's interview as well from earlier this week when we dove into a number of subjects with him too. So this defense, Dwayne Aquina, I had a chance to ask him about the young Demetrius Freeney, who may have to start today at one of the boundary corner positions.
Obviously, one of those guys, Coach, that was pressed in was Demetrius Freeney. What do you like about his skill set and what potentially he could bring?
Well, he's a good athlete. He's learning. He was a quarterback in high school, very good athlete. So he's got good quickness, good speed. We still just got to keep learning the game, some of the adjustments these guys did with the motions and all of that. So, but he's got a lot of upside. So he did a nice job for his first opportunity.
Coach Kamu looked like a player last year who was kind of coming on and maybe in line for a bigger role this year, but Saturday was the first time he'd really played significantly. Where is he in his development, and what does he need to do to maybe be that player that we saw at the end of last year?
Yeah, well, he needs to just keep, working with Manu. What we did with Manu is we moved him to that Mike backer position that he plays. So he's backing up a great football player right there for us. So he just needs to just continue to build. And when his opportunities come like that, to be ready to go. Helps him to also play more than one position. And that's what we've kind of done with Manu is, when it becomes next man up, if there's an injury, because Tay is really coming along too. So if something happens, if Kamu is at the Mike position, let's say the Tay goes down, now Manu, you put the pressure on the veteran to go learn more than one position. And you get the young guy just to learn one position. And then as his time goes on and, he gets good at something, then, let's go and start learning another position.
And he's talking about Kamu Kaiahue, who had to come in when Jacob Manu got ejected. And that, again, that was the worst fear. That was the worst fear of this defense because, again, they have not played a whole lot of linebackers. I mean, pretty much Jacob Manu and Tay Brown have been getting 100% of the snaps. And now Kamu, who really kind of came on at the end of last year, and like I said right there, you thought he was maybe in line for a bigger role this year, but for whatever reason, they've decided just to go with two guys.
Yeah, he's got to get some more time to play. He's got to get some more playing time. He was I thought he was a little, watching the film again, I thought he was a little slow on the reaction of coming downhill. I think that's important for him to learn. And then you get that experience from playing in the game. You get that experience of playing in the game, or what reading and seeing the linemen, how they're moving, what kind of steps are they taking, what your keys. You got to be able to be. When you first get in there, you're probably thinking, I played linebacker in high school, and it was like you got a lot of stuff to think about. You really do. You got a lot of reads you got to do. I had a coach that always had you look at their feet. What kind of steps are they making? All those kind of things. But once you started getting to understand that, you read them fast. It goes fast. But then it seemed like he was just a little bit slower. Yeah, a little, just trying to get in there and get the flow. And he'll get better as it goes.
You can message us as well on any of our platforms if you're watching the show today on YouTube or Facebook. We got a message that popped in here on our YouTube channel from Huntsy64. It says, Glenn and Kelvin, come by the Catalina High School Mafia tailgate.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The Mafia, we coming. What you got to eat, man?
That's your old high school. You coached there.
Yeah,
you coached there back in the day.
Yep. Man, that had a squad too, man. We had 22 dudes on that varsity team, and we had some ballers on that team. Rich Griffith was on that team. Virgil Henderson, Del Holmes. I mean, you had Jays Bay. I mean, we had some guys that were some ballers on that team.
Here's something interesting that Dwayne Aquina, defense coordinator, said this week about preparing the backups to play.
Sometimes you got to cut back on what the initial game plan goes in. Because there'll be plays and a call that they may not got that play all week long. It's one of the challenges, but that's why I always talk about you want to learn concepts, not just what the playbook says. You want to know how the whole defense is built. Because I think you've heard me say it before, I'm not tied into a depth chart. I'm tied into the next best player.
Interesting there that, and again, that's what you would expect because you're given the lion's share of the 1 reps to your starters. These guys like Demetrius Freeney have not had a lot of those reps, so they don't know everything coming into this game. So you can't maybe utilize your entire defensive playbook in this game today.
definitely because you don't want to have the guys thinking too much. But it's the thing that Coach Babers and all the coaches used to say is mental reps. That means you're watching the other guys do their job. That's where reps are like goal. So a lot of times you don't get a chance to get free goal. So the other guy's going to be starting, and he's going to try to take up most of the reps. But if you pay attention and you listen to every little thing that the coach tells them, and you can get a lot out of it. So when your opportunity comes, you can be more ready. So I think these guys got to do a better job of having those mental reps and looking at guys like Manu and the other guys and learning from them.
That's why I said, and we talked about this, Glenn, during camp. At times, I would see Owen Goss not standing on the side. He was standing in the end zone when he wasn't in there, going through what the rep was. You could see him kind of doing the movement off the snap where he wanted to be at the back of the end zone.
And the reason why I think he was back there because he's a guy that's listed at 3 different positions. So he couldn't be behind just the corners. He had to be back where he could see all 4 or 5 DBs working together because he don't know where he's going to fit in. And as you look on the depth chart, he's in 3 different places because, again, he's a veteran and he understands those mental reps got him where he understands where to fit in at. For the younger guys, sometimes you're thinking about too much instead of focusing in and looking at some of the guys right in front of you.
And Kelvin, what you said was absolutely right on. I mean, it's like when I was a redshirt freshman, a redshirt junior here when I was here, and I was second team, but I was always taking mental reps on what steps I got to take on this play, and I would always ask Coach, what is this play? What is this play? Knowing what the play is, not being in the huddle, you still got to go in and find out what the play is. If you're just sitting down watching, not knowing what the play is, you don't know what that mental rep is. You got to have that mental rep. So I was always leaning in on the huddle. You know, what you doing in there? Get out of here.
We used to call it ear hustling.
Ear hustling. That's right.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm like leaning in on the huddle and saying, what was that play?
And I tell guys all the time, when you see the coach talking to the best player, you better get an ear in on that. You can't be telling secrets over there. I want to know exactly what you're saying to him because I want to go and execute the same thing so I look a little better.
Absolutely.
Genesis Smith had a chance to talk to him a little bit this week. The assignment is large with Shadur Sanders on the other side.
Obviously, Shadur, one of the more high-profile players in college football this year. Just what's exciting about facing a player like that, and how would you describe what you saw from him last year?
He's super explosive, has a great arm, great ability to scramble. And I honestly love the games like this. I love the more viewers, more people watching. Just going against better people just brings the best out of us, I feel like. The better we go against, the better we play. So I like playing against that type of caliber of player.
Genesis, obviously you were able to get that punch out there late in the game. Just kind of describe that technique, how you work on it. Is that kind of, when you're going in for a tackle like that, is that the first thing you're trying to do, is get that punch out in that situation and see if you can get it?
Yeah, for sure. Just the situation in the game. I know we need the ball back. We tried to get the onside, didn't go our way. So we were just thinking ball in that situation. We practiced a lot of punch-out drills, strip drills throughout the week, so just thinking ball.
And that's the thing now, guys. Punch and wrap. Punch and wrap. When you go in to make that tackle, punch in as you're going to grab the ball carrier.
It is, but I like the second guy to go for the ball. I like the first guy to secure the tackle. Because sometimes you go in, and especially with some of these good running backs, you go in and you try to punch that ball out. You go in and try to punch that ball out, and that guy breaks that tackle. So I think the first guy secures the tackle, and that's when you have to have the 11 man to the ball. That second, third, fourth guy got to come in and go and try to script that ball out. So, I think a little differently there because, again, I'm all about trying to make sure we at least get that play stopped.
Well, back in the day in high school, we used to do a little opposite. We used to hold them up so we could get some hits on it. We used to like when I was playing with Jack Del Rio in high school, man. We used to say hold them up so we could come and lay some hat on them, So we would do that and intimidate the heck out of teams. You'd hold them up and then bam, bam, bam. That's what but you can't do that now.
All right, that's as Dwayne Aquina said. We'll wait to see who's available today on the Arizona Wildcats defense.
And that's Let's a look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
After throw, here comes the rush again. He's sacked by Jacob Manu.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll get to, if we have time, we'll get to DK with BB. My questions to the coach. We'll update your scoreboard for you. Trunk candidate is coming in the captain's corner as well. We'll have our pest of the game, who will be that buffalo that'll get underneath the Wildcats' skin today. And best bets, Arizona, a 2-point favorite at home here today on Homecoming Saturday. The over-under 57.5. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day with Kelvin Ifan and Glenn Howe. Clouds starting to come in here in Tucson. Again, the temperature yesterday went from 83 to 63, just like that. And all of a sudden we got here this morning and it was in the 50s. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rock and Materials. A few bare spots in the yard. The driveway needs filling in. Or it could be that the yard needs a whole
Saturday in Arizona, and the Wildcats getting set to take on the Colorado Buffaloes tonight. People are still coming on to the campus here for the tailgates, and there are many of them, a whole lot more than there usually are on a home game day. We have every organization. A lot of the alumni organizations are happening as well out here today. Let's update you quickly on what's happening on your scoreboard.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The college football scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
2nd and 10, Polk 35. 19 seconds on the clock, 35-31. Jake in the pocket, throws in a window, 15, 10, 5, Lassiter getting it in! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Greg Rubel on the BYU Cougars radio network. How about number 13, Brigham Young? Scoring with 15 seconds left to go to beat Oklahoma State 38-35. They might as well roll up the sidewalks in Stillwater because it is over for the Cowboys, who have now lost 4 straight games in Big 12 conference play to fall to 3-4 on the season. BYU is 7-0. Darius Lassiter, 6 catches, 129 yards. Jake Retzlaff threw for a pair of touchdowns in that game. And it was another win for BYU. They just continue to be, I think, the surprise team in this conference.
They're absolutely the surprise, man. You look at them, man. They're just, I mean, their coach has just taken that team to another level, man. I mean, it's really been a good season for them, and you know, more power to them. You know, I think they're a lock right now in the championship. They have to fall down pretty hard.
They would have to fall down really hard for that not to happen. That was one of a number of games that happened last night. Another one was in West Lafayette.
Here's a pitch coming left, and 10-yard line inside of the 5. Harris will score. Nice blocking on the left-hand side as Jay Harris gets his first touchdown of the year. And the junior celebrates with his teammates, and Oregon makes it a 34-0 ball game.
So Oregon defeated Purdue on the road 35-0. So last week Purdue put up 49 points in their loss to Illinois. It was back to normalcy. They hadn't been able to score all year until last week, and this week they found a team that knew how to play defense. Shut out at home. I think that's a surprise. Purdue's usually a pretty solid ball club. But they are 1-6 now and have lost all 4 of their games in the Big Ten Conference. Number 2 Oregon is undefeated.
That game was 35-0 in the first quarter.
It was 14-0 in the first game.
Was it?
Yeah, they scored. It was 21-0 at half, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the
wow, that
fourth
was
quarter.
Just bad. That was really bad.
Well, that was one of our 5-star plays. Our BetQL 5-star plays was take Oregon minus 27.5. We thought that was maybe a little bit much after what Purdue had been able to do at Illinois last week, but the play came through as Oregon covered that 27.5, winning by a score of 35-0. One other game in the Power 4 last night, Florida State continues their dissension, 1-6 now as they fall to Duke on the road, 23-16. Duke is 6-1 this year.
And so let me speak about that a little bit. So Florida State they lost a lot of people last year.
Yeah.
right. And so it's a little different.
Yeah.
You go from national championship game to so when things change like that.
To the national champ, they were 13-0
that's
and
right.
didn't make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but when you lose a few guys, things change a little bit there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It absolutely changes.
Okay.
It's a different. You know, and that's going to happen to every single year to these guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's happening. Look at Alabama. It's going to happen all the different places. And the only one that really hasn't been hit that hard is Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, you look at their team. They got a lot of young guys on there, and they got guys that have stayed. I guess they got the bankroll.
Oh, for sure. Oh, come on now.
Yeah, they got the bankroll.
Southern football.
Yeah.
All right, this is the first day we have all 16 teams playing in the Big 12. One game is in progress. This was another 5-star play that we had. Take the Sun Devils plus the 4.5 on the road at Cincinnati. But right now, midway through the second quarter, it's the Bearcats 17 and the Sun Devils 7. ASU off to a hot start at 5-1. That is not the Wildcats. That's just a fire truck. So don't get worried if you thought you were coming down for the Wildcat walk. That is not the Wildcat walk. Our game is the second game, actually the third game on the docket today. 12:30 start time. Houston is at Kansas, I should say, today. Then Colorado at Arizona. Baylor at Texas Tech, a 1 o'clock start. Texas Tech, of course, is one of the undefeateds at 5-1, 3-0 in conference play. Later on in the day, it'll be Central Florida at Iowa State. Number 9, Cyclones 6-0, 3-0, looking to stay unbeaten. 4:30, number 17, Kansas State at West Virginia. That should be an interesting one. Both those teams are 2-1 in the Big 12. And then the final game of the day, Utah struggling, having lost 2 games in a row around a bye and has fallen out of the top 25. The prohibitive favorite at the beginning of the season to win the conference title, but they're 1-2, and they'll welcome in 1-2 TCU today. That is what you've got on the Big 12 board with all 16 teams playing this afternoon. As far as the top 25, couple of scores, games in progress. Miami leading Louisville on the road, 17-14. 10-10, number 10, Clemson against Virginia. Number 16, Indiana, up 14-0. How about the Hoosiers? 6-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten Conference. Auburn and Missouri tied 3-3. That game in the second quarter. And this, to me, this is the story of college football right now. Number 23, Army, leading East Carolina 24-0. Army and Navy both ranked and undefeated in the American Conference. One of those two teams could be that
playoffs.
Group of 5 representative.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they Army Navy, they play each other, so
they could play each other twice.
Yeah,
in the American Championship game, and then the next week in the Army Navy game.
Yeah, that'd be great.
How about that? 2 Army. I mean, and we never had 2 Army Navy games in one year. That to have them in back-to-back weeks, and then potentially that the Army Navy game could be for the berth in the playoff. That would just be unbelievable.
Army still have
unbelievable December.
Have Notre Dame on their schedule?
I don't know. I'll have to check that one out and see if they do play.
Because if they
the
beat
Irish.
Notre Dame, they should be in.
Yeah. That would be something. Let's see. They've got East Carolina today. Yep, they still have Notre Dame, and that'll be at home in the week leading into Thanksgiving on November the 23rd.
Great.
Yep. So a lot still to come. All right, that's your scoreboard at the moment.
The College Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, I'll give you our other 5-star play real quick here on the college football side, and that was Vanderbilt. They've been playing pretty well. They've got a non-conference game today in the SEC. Vandy minus 25.5 over Ball State. That should be a game that they should cover and cover famously. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We're going to head into the Captain's Corner. Coming up straight ahead, Trung Candidate is going to join us. We also have a couple of other people potentially coming by today.
Yeah, Coach Bernardi just texted me. We might have Cheryl Smith, Larry Smith.
Oh, wow.
Might be coming in,
all right.
too. So that would be great to have Cheryl.
And Trung is trying to stop by over here. He's trying to see if he can park at Coach Harvey's house. So I'm trying to get him over here right now. Yeah. So
I still say we got to take the show to Coach Harvey's one day and just have it out on his front lawn, man.
Exactly.
We could throw an acorn.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly. With Kelvin Efon and Glenn Howe, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer could finally come to an end. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 areas Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check.
Oh,
if it's time for any other seasonal maintenance, we got you covered with the most award-winning service around. You'll see why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric.
Tight end Glenn Howell and the captain, Kelvin Efon.
Coming to you live here from the U of A Mall. It is homecoming Saturday. The Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes getting set to do battle here. And this will be the 27th time that these two teams have played. And Colorado actually has had a lot of success here in the state of Arizona, particularly here in Tucson. They lead the all-time series 16-10. And they have won 9 of the 13 meetings that have been played right here at Arizona Stadium. So, again, anytime Colorado comes in here, this will be the first time that Deion Sanders will be coming in here. We'll hopefully hear from Coach Prime a little bit later in the show. There is going to be a new look to the Arizona Wildcats again today. They have debuted the Cactus logo helmet. The logo that so many of you love is going to be on the helmet for the first time. And the coach, Brent Brennan, was asked what he thought of the new Cactus logo helmet.
I think it's cool. If the players are excited about it, great. Like, really, for me, I'm more concerned with how we play than I am with what's on the side of our helmet. But if the players are excited about it, great. Sure. And
so, yeah, again, we want to see what's going to happen on the field. I think that is going to be the big thing coming up for this game today. Again, the temperatures here, we got a lot of cloud cover at the moment. Right now, it is 58 degrees here. They say that they said the high, at least I was watching the young lady on Channel 13 when I woke up this morning, and she said that it was going to be 75 degrees. I initially saw that it was only going to be maybe about 70, but could get up to as high as 75. Coach Brennan was hoping for something a little hotter than that.
I wish it was hot. I wish it yeah. I do.
Yeah, he wanted it to be hot. He wanted Colorado to be uncomfortable. This is their weather, really. This is their weather here today.
I always hated that we didn't play and use our advantage, especially against the up north schools, the Washingtons and the Oregon. I wanted to play at 12 o'clock in the heat to make sure that they felt it the way we felt it when we go up there. We seem to always go up there when it's snowing.
Yep.
So I never understood that, man. I'm like, you got to use that advantage. I understand the fans don't want to be in the middle of the sun. I get it, but man, if we could use that advantage. But Deion and them got lucky today. Seemed like they brought their weather down here.
Yep, indeed they did. And so we'll see exactly how that works right there. We got the running back from the 1990s, late 1990s, who's going to be joining us here momentarily.
He's making some moves getting across that traffic.
I told Truck, I said, he the fullback now. I'm the tailback. We switching spots now, man.
This offense for the Wildcats, hoping they can get it going like Trung and Kelvin and their offense did, and Montana Lamonius Craig feels like they're close.
I feel like, every time we're one detail away, one play away. So, it's just how great can we execute and how consistently can we do it. And then once we have, we have the ability to do it. So it's just more so figuring it out, just correcting the little minor details that may be halting our drives, and then we'll be head on from there.
Well, and Brent Brennan said this week, he's like, look, we had 25 first downs in that game.
Yeah.
Last Saturday. They just, again, the little things. You got to be able to get 1 yard.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to score touchdowns when you get to the red zone. And if they can accomplish those two things, and look, that was the last thing that came for the Fish administration. They could not navigate any of that stuff.
Trung.
Somebody got to go find
Trung.
Get real Trung in. Yeah. He's a little lost over there.
I tell you what. If you look at the paper of that game, the stats of that game, you look like we should have won that game.
Yeah.
If you look at that thing.
Well, we should have been in it. I don't know about winning it, but they definitely should have been in it better than they were. And you can't, again, the turnovers when you're backed up at minus 25, those are the ones that kill you because, again, we talked about it at the top of the show. You've got 42 points that you've given up in the last 2 games off of 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
You're not going to win very many football games doing that. You're not going to win any football games. We've got recruiting going on. Looks like women's basketball is rolling some recruits through campus right now. This is a big weekend for all of the U of A athletic programs for sure.
And it just got chilly just a couple seconds ago.
Well, yeah, again, it's like that cloud cover rolls in, and yesterday we were out on the boulevard, and it went from 83 to 63 just like that, and everybody was reaching for a coat.
I see you had to make some moves across that street over there. You trying to get across like we used to. Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right, let's switch it over to the captain's corner.
Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. And now, here is the captain, Kelvin Efon.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Efon. Our guest today is Trung Candidate, running back from the class of 1999 here at the U of A. Trung Candidate, my brother, man. How you doing today, man?
Hey, man, I'm blessed.
Yes, sir.
The weather is nice.
Yeah.
And it's time to do it thrice.
Yeah. Little chilly out here to me, man. We were just talking and we were saying we wish that the sun was out. Coach Brennan was saying the same thing. We wish that sun was out because they brought Colorado down here, so we would love to use that sun to fatigue those guys.
Oh, yeah. You want to take all the advantages you can get, but I tell you what, we going to have to get in their butts one way or the other.
Hey, one way or the other, man. Yeah, no, man. Hey, so, first thing first, man, tell us a little bit about, man, what you've been up to.
Man, you know what? Like I was telling you, we were just talking the other day. Mm-hmm. I got these 4 kids, other than the real estate, the business side of things, taking care of your family, taking care of making sure they eat. The big thing is the legacy.
Right, yes, sir.
And I got these little ones coming up right now, so I'm enjoying this Pop Warner football. I'm enjoying this flag, kids and wrestling. And other than that, man, hey, I'm just blessed to be here.
Man, I hear you, man. So, we got all our kids involved, student athletes, got them involved in different sports and everything like that, man. And we all come off that Coach Tomey, man. And it was so important to Coach Tomey about family, man. What were some of the things from Coach Tomey about family, that you incorporate into your family today?
Oh, man, you about to get me emotional
here.
Talking
trying to do that.
Talking about Coach Tomey, man, the late Coach Tomey.
Yes,
I went in the Hall of Fame with the brother, man,
yes,
so it was a
sir.
blessing. Mm-hmm. But, man, it was all about family. It was all about loyalty, all about taking care of inside, and everything spreads from the inside outside. So get the lessons from Dino Babers.
Yeah,
my wife don't even like hearing some of the lessons.
right.
Look, I told her, don't tell me about the pain, deliver the baby. She said, you ain't on the football
Wait.
field.
Hey, Coach Babers told me, he said, I didn't say that. It's a different time. It's a different time. I didn't say that. He said, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It's a different time. I was like, oh, times have changed.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But we got to tell the truth, though.
We got to 100%.
We truth tellers.
Hey, I always tell the people about when we were playing here, and for the people who don't know, me and Trung played here together for 2 years, and we used to be roommates, and we used to do tests for every game. We had tests to make sure you knew everything that needed to be known. And remember the test that Coach Baby used to have, and one of the questions would be, who do I trust to take care of my family if something happened to me? Who is the players that I trust to say something to take care of my family if something happened to me? You remember that question on the test?
Absolutely, man. Because you know what? They brought real life to the effect of all of this. And really, when you out here, because this is life and death almost, because you can lose your life.
For sure.
This a violent sport. You're not out here. You don't play football. You got to live this. And so that question, it kind of triggered those things in your brain to kind of understand, hey, listen, this is important, and this ain't no game to play.
Yes, sir. Tell me a little bit more about Coach Babers, man. He's back after years, man, after going 12-1 with us back in the day, being pretty successful. But right now, he's tell me a little bit about, your relationship with him and how he, helped you, during your time. And then also tell me a little bit about, I also want to talk to you about everybody's talking about not a good offensive coordinator and they need to switch the coordinator up, and then him being so humble and stepping down basically and giving the offensive coordinator. Did you know about this?
No.
Yeah, no. So he haven't stepped down. He's still offensive coordinator, but they have the passing game coordinator is calling the plays now, Coach Atkins. Okay. So Coach Babers isn't calling the plays anymore. So, tell me a little bit about, man, what you think about, first of all, about Coach Babers and how you feel about that.
Man, first of all, it's like Dick told me, man, I love Coach Babers, man. Just the individual he is, the character he has. And I'm going to just tell you, as a black man, I watched him, go about his business here. You don't always have the power, but you can do what you can do to make these little things right along the way. So his resume speaks for itself. And I always remember I was with the Redskins at the. I can't say Redskins. I was with the Commanders at the time. And you know what? But we're in a different day and age, though. Right. So he called me, and anything he ever needed, man, to make sure that I was a voice for him. I wanted to make sure he was there, but he put the work in. Yeah. And from the different schools he was at, head coach at Syracuse, his resume speaks for itself. We know he knows what he's doing.
1,000%.
And so, at the end of the day, this is about the team. If they feel like we just need to have an adjustment, you can do it for a period of time, and we trying to get victory.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, we trying to get victory.
Ain't about feelings.
So ultimately, I'm just learning about this because I talked to him. The other day I was supposed to speak with the team and things like that. But I'm rooting for him, and I know he made the right decision.
Right. Because he's selfless, and he's a Tommy guy. And Coach, this is something when Coach Brennan did it, and they made the change. The first person came to mind was Coach Tommy. How the next guy got to pick up the flag. You remember that story about the flag with the Buffalo Soldiers?
Absolutely. It's easy to talk about it.
It's easy to talk about.
It's easy to talk about it. Easy to talk about everything, but it's another thing once you in it. Once you in that, that it's real. Now everybody can talk about being a beast until it's time to do what a beast got to do.
That's man, 1,000.
Yeah, hey, come on now.
And just seeing Coach Babers make that change, man. Like I said, I knew that I understood right there from the beginning that just his character and understanding how things work, coming out for being a head coach, offensive coordinator. This is Brennan's guy that was with him at San Jose State, but he had an opportunity to get Coach Babers. So, of course, you have to take that knowledge and experience onto the staff. But, me, myself, though, when I hear them making excuses about play calling, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit, Trum, because when we played, whatever play they called, we made work.
Okay. Look. Now you're taking it back to the roots. The bottom line is you're only as good as your horse. And we have some horses.
You feel me?
And his resume speaks for itself. But you understand the nature of the game. At the end of the day, this is about, relationships and things like that. He wants to bring, his affiliate in. He's learned from Dino. Maybe he can switch it up for a little bit.
Right.
Because this is all about wins. It ain't nothing but like LeBron James. I mean, you know what? We want to bring Bronny in.
Hey.
When he told the Lakers, he didn't have to tell him, you going to draft me, baby.
Yeah,
or I'm going to go play with the Suns.
I'll be at the next spot tomorrow. And that's what's going on right now with the transfer portal. I mean, if you don't give these guys an opportunity if you want to, they'll be out that door. I wonder, I go back and think of Trump candidate back then and wasn't getting the playing time that he wanted. What would that transfer portal would have looked like for Trump back then?
Man, you know what? And I'm going to be honest with you. I had opportunities to transfer. I was cut from a different cloth.
I already know.
It was, if you make a decision, you're going to make it work. And Lord willing, God blessing, everything. Listen, you know me. I was going to come and work with my lunch pail and then let the chips fall where they may.
Already.
Matter of fact, I had coaches calling me, it was much illegal back then.
Oh, yeah.
But I was, I stayed here. I made it work because I love this red and blue out here, man. This is, this is a college town, but this the NFL town of Arizona.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You played with some great guys in the NFL. Well, even at the U of A receivers. I'm talking about receivers right now. You had Dennis Northcutt here, and I think you also played with Bobby Wade for a year, didn't you?
Bobby Wade.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my recruit.
How you feel about Bobby Wade being on the staff?
Man, Bobby Wade is a great addition. You know what I'm saying? Because he's local here. He's going to put the work in, his pedigree, his NFL background. You got guys that know what they're doing. So you can't sit here and say, you know, this is the coaches that's doing all of this here. You know, you got to have a horse that's going to get out there and do what they need to do. Because that's what we did.
Man.
You know, we was in that room stretching, talking about being great all day.
I mean, it's amazing to me they get to the red zone and can't score.
I
can't even understand.
I
can't even. We ran the same plays and the other team couldn't stop it. So for them to try to say it's formation or the other team knowing whatever, line it up.
Listen, there's an element to schemes and you know it's going. But at some point it's going to come down to that gut check because both teams got good schemes.
Yeah.
Then it's
Coach Tommy say the Jim and Joe's.
And there it is. And know who you are.
I mean, you feel me? The Jim and the Joe. Tron Canady is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Ferrier, Tire and Auto. Jack Ferrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. Tron, man, so, right, I was asking you about T-Mac. Tell me a little bit, man, about what you think about T-Mac in his play compared to some of the great receivers that you played with in St. Louis and some of the guys here at the U of A.
Man, I'll tell you this, man. When I saw him come out the first couple weeks, just destroying it. I mean, you know, the lights were shining on him. And I've been around some of the greats, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holtz. You know what I'm saying? Lavernius Coles. This kid got the ability to do that. He got the size. But ultimately, it's going to depend on how far this team go to. The better the team shine, the better your individual play shine.
Right.
And hopefully they, because it's the scheme side of it, we need to make sure that this kid is able to showcase that, but they going to be doubling and tripling him. So you're going to need these other guys to step up.
Yeah.
Because this is about a team.
Right.
This the ultimate team game.
And how do you get to that, Tron? Because I was saying that the way you get to that is you call lock plays for the other receivers, right?
Absolutely.
Where you get them the ball, if they're guys that are good at screens, you get them in the screen game. They're deep ball, you're good at deep ball, you get them a deep ball. Or if they're good in the intermediate, that's what you do. So what do you think about? How do you get these guys involved?
Well, the thing is, now that's where schemes and things come in, that you want to get him in motion. We want to get him in isolation plays, but we also got to get these other guys off. Once these other guys get off, then it's kind of ping back and forth off of each other. That's how it's going to roll. That's how you keep teams off balance. And guess what? At the end of the day, some of these teams know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you still got to go execute.
You still got to
do
it.
Bottom line.
And a part of it is 52 passes to 20 runs. How that would have worked when we played.
Well, it's a different day and era, man. They teaching the hawk roll and all of these things and stuff like that. But you got to be able to adjust with the times and things like that. Ultimately, the game is still run in the trenches. It's these big hogs up front. We got to make sure that you're wearing on people. And then, you know what? We got a quarterback. He can throw the ball. He can put it up in the air. But ultimately, the game is won with that run.
Ultimately, and we have a few running backs. We lost a few guys last year. A couple guys, NFL opportunities. One guy made it. The other guy NFL opportunity. The Beast ended up going up there to Washington. That boy.
Talk to his running backs coach and both great people.
Yes.
But I'm trying to tell you that at the end of the day, it's a business. And you know what? You want to have loyalty, but that NIL money speaks loyalty.
Speaks loyalty.
And so it's one thing to talk about it, and it's another to see that check cash, because some of these guys got bills to pay and kids that need that Similac.
Yeah.
I got 4 of them, baby. And hey, they don't stop.
You gotta get it. No, man. So. Yeah, so tell me some more things about this team that you see, that's interesting. We got Coach Aquino over there on the defensive side. Me and you both played some DB when we were here. Coach Tomlin was notorious about moving guys around, trying to see where they fit at best. And so we played over there. We've been in that room with Coach Aquino. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about him being back here.
Man, Coach Aquino, like what I'm saying, you know what, his resume speaks for itself. Coach Aquino is And Brennan did an excellent job with bringing in these proven guys. Ultimately, a lot of this is about recruiting.
Yeah.
A lot of this is about back to that horse again. And so Akina, man, it gets a little emotional on that side because, I was at DB.
Yeah.
Time with these players. It's gut check time. Now we got prime time coming in. We got the greatest show in college coming in.
And as I always say, when you get an opportunity like this, you talking about recruiting. This is how you recruit.
Absolutely.
You come in these games like this. I wanted to come to Arizona, basketball and football, because of that game they played against Miami. When they went, I think it was 29-0 or something that they did. When they beat Miami, it let me know that they can play and beat anybody, didn't matter who the team was. So this is a big recruiting weekend, if you ask me, because if the guys come in and perform, whether win or lose, you come in and perform, that's going to show guys that you can come and make it at Arizona and you can come be on a big stage at the University of Arizona.
Oh, absolutely. Everything is recruiting. All of this. Every one of these games. And so when you got the greatest show, they don't want to talk about it, but Prime is putting on the show out there.
Man,
I mean, their record is only 4-2. What are they, 4-2 right now?
Yeah.
So ultimately, we know it's about winning, but it's about that show too. We're in a different era. We're in the social media era. This is about these clicks.
Yes, sir.
You hear what I'm saying? So now, just as you, I saw Desert Storm come out here, and I was like, okay, well, if I don't make it on offense, I'm gonna make it on defense.
Over there, yes.
Because I had that type of passion.
The type of mentality.
And you got the Teddy Brewskis, you got the Chuck Cecils and all that. B. Sanders out here. So I was like, you know what? If I don't make it on O, we're going to fall back on this defense. So we definitely want to put on the show. We're at prime time, 1 o'clock today. We need all our Wildcats to come on out and let's get it in.
Tron Gameday is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Ferrier Tire and Auto. Jack Ferrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. I thought some of the reason why our teams were really good was because of we play for each other. No selfishness. I mean, every position you can look at, there was competition. I mean, I no matter how great you was, Tron, I never was jealous of you. And I know that was the same energy coming back. We were roommates on the road, roommates, Camp Cochise. So it was genuine love. And I felt like Coach Tommy did a great job letting us be together like that. Tell me a little bit about that and the 12-1 team and about that togetherness we had.
Absolutely. We had brothers like yourself there. That's what's important because you got to fight bigger than yourself in a game like this.
You have to.
This is violence out here. And so when you got love for your brother, when you got love for your teammates, you're going to fight that much harder. That's why who did I call up when I came out this way? I said, I'm calling my brother. I called the Thunder up and you seen the lightning came.
Sir.
You saw the lightning come.
Sir.
So at the end of the day, it's about relationships, man. And a lot of this stuff is fighting bigger than yourself. That's how you're going to get that extra yard out of a play, that extra down out of a play, because kids are fighting for each other.
Yes, sir.
And if you ain't got that level of commitment from each other, that's how it works. Even in the pros, man, we would get on each other, man, because guys got families to feed.
Yeah.
You can't be out here playing.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? We playing for keeps.
For keeps, man. There ain't nothing like that 12-1, man. I tell these guys all the time, man, when you do stuff like that, it just gives you confidence for the rest of your life. No matter what ups and downs that you go through, you get a chance to go back and think about how did you succeed. And it was by working hard, by doing the little things, not just necessarily by being a star, but by being a star in your role. And I felt like we all learned that here.
I love that, starring in your role, because that's what it takes. It takes that to run your family. It takes for everybody to understand. And so that 12-1 team was another element. The Super Bowl, those type of things that I've dealt with in life, they help propel you. And you can see it even in the workforce because it matters. I got kids to lead and things like that. And so I got a family to lead. And, man, and when you've done that, you know what it takes. And it ain't easy. You got to peel back these onions.
Ooh, boy,
and you got to let some of them tears come out.
All the time.
And that's how you make a lion.
That's how you make a line. Hey, Tron, man, great to have you on. Our thanks to Arizona 1999 running back Tron Gameday, my brother, for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner.
Absolutely. Thunder and lightning. I love y'all. Luke 137.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Efon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE EAGLE.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockinK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com. JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man. Hot. Touchdown, Arizona.
In wealth management, wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
3:20 to play. Snap to Shador. Looking, scanning, throws the out. Far side. Grab his man at the 5-yard line. Turns upfield to the end zone. LaJonte Wester. And Colorado has got the lead. 27-24. 3:12 to play in quarter number 4. Shador Sanders is a magician. He's brought them back again. And the Buffs right now looking to tack on a point after touchdown against Kansas State on a wild night here in Boulder, Colorado.
All right, that was I should say Mark Johnson, the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. If you missed our interview with him, head on over to our website right now, Wildcats Radio 1290, or download the app for that. Let's let you know what we've got coming up in this final hour, really now 45 minutes of our show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, best of the game, still straight ahead. Keys to the game, best bets. Arizona is a 2-point favorite in this one. But right now, we are going to talk to another special guest. Glenn, Coach Gary Bernardi is with us here.
Yes, he is. Gary Bernardi was my tight end coach at the University of Arizona. Coach Bernardi, how you doing?
Nice and relaxing day. Usually when I've been here, you're sweating your ass off. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. you might have wanted to wear some pants today. Yeah. And Coach Bernardi, like you've coached. You were 10 years at UCLA, okay, and then you were at Colorado. Absolutely, you were just recently.
Colorado for 6 years.
For 6 years at Colorado. How was it? You were playing Colorado today. What's it like for Colorado coming down here?
Well, I think the weather, if it was 92,
it'd be difficult.
And a 1 o'clock kickoff, that would be difficult. But I think they'll come and play hard and do a good job. They're getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been playing really. I think they've been playing pretty good. I think that you look at that team and you look at Sanders as their quarterback. We got to put pressure on that guy. We can't let him just sit there.
Not let him run wild. And he's a lot of times he's quick to leave the pocket. You got to you can't let him have all kinds of freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure he's throwing on the run and moving around. Taught me a whole